Have you ever looked at a test result or a performance review and just felt your heart sink? You look at those numbers on the paper and a voice in your head whispers, "You're not good enough." It's a terrible feeling. We are raised to believe that life is a straight line. You get good grades, you get a degree, and boom, you're successful. But if that's true, why are so many straight A students feeling stuck and unhappy in their 30s? And why are the so-called backbenchers often the ones changing the world? Today, I'm going to tell you a story that completely changed how I look at failure. It's about a boy who thought he was good for nothing and the 3 strange meetings that showed him the truth. If you've ever felt lost, this is for you. Our story starts in a quiet, sleepy town on the edge of a massive estate. This is where Sam lived. Now, looking at Sam's house, you'd think he had it all. His family owned a huge 20-acre horse farm. They were wealthy, respected, and comfortable. But inside, Sam was falling apart. He had just finished his high school exams, and unlike his friends who were rushing to apply for colleges, Sam wanted out. He didn't want to study anymore. It wasn't that he was lazy, he was actually a very hard worker on the farm. But the moment he sat down with a textbook, his brain just shut off. He felt stupid. He felt like he didn't fit into the box society had built for him. One morning, while cleaning the stables, he finally built up the courage to tell his father, Mr. David. Now, David was a man of few words, but he was incredibly wise. He listened to Sam's frustration, the anger about school, and the fear of the future. Instead of yelling or giving him a lecture about your future, David just smiled. He pulled out a notepad and wrote down 3 names and 3 addresses. He handed the paper to Sam and said, "Sam, before you decide to quit everything, I want you to do one last assignment for me. Go find these 3 men. When you meet them, just say you are the son of the man with the golden leg. Ask them how they made it in life. Come back when you have your answers." Sam was confused. The man with the golden leg? He knew his dad had a slight limp from an old injury, but he had never heard that nickname before. But trusting his dad, he saddled up his horse and set off. The first name on the list was Mr. Andres. Sam rode about 2 kilometers to a beautiful, sturdy house. In the garden sat an older man who looked like he could still lift a truck. This was Mr. Andres, a legendary athlete in their town with a shelf full of gold medals. Sam walked up and introduced himself. "Hi, I'm the son of David, the man they called the one with the golden leg." Mr. Andres' face instantly lit up. He laughed and welcomed him in. When Sam asked him the big question, "How did you become so successful?" he expected to hear about natural talent or being a genius. Instead, Mr. Andres leaned back and said, "Sam, let me tell you a secret. In our graduating class of 40 students, do you know where I ranked? I was number 38. I was almost last. I wasn't smart. I wasn't the best in the room." Sam was shocked. "Then how?" "I loved sports," Andre said, "specifically running. While everyone else was stressing over algebra, I was on the track. I didn't worry about being bad at math. I focused entirely on getting better at running. Year 1, I just trained. Year 2, I fixed my mistakes. Year 3, I mastered my technique. I didn't try to be good at everything. I tried to be the best at one thing. That is the art of persistence." Sam left that house thinking hard. He realized that Mr. Andres wasn't a failure because he was 38th in class. He was a winner because he ignored what he was bad at and doubled down on what he loved. Feeling a bit more hopeful, Sam rode to the second address. This one was a shock. It was a massive, modern mansion, far bigger than the first one. This house belonged to Mr. Thomas. Now, Sam knew Mr. Thomas. He owned the most famous restaurant chain in the state. Sam's family ate there all the time. When Sam mentioned his father's nickname, the Golden Leg, Mr. Thomas let out a belly laugh and hugged him. Sam sat down on a plush leather sofa and asked, "Mr. Thomas, you're rich, you're successful. You must have been a genius in school, right?" Mr. Thomas shook his head. "Kid, out of 40 students, I was number 39. I was right behind Andres. The only things I liked doing were talking and eating. I didn't understand history or science, but I loved food." He continued, I started cooking because I liked to eat tasty things. Then I started cooking for others. It wasn't about the money at first. It was about the passion. I learned recipes, I learned how to serve people, and I learned how to make people smile with a burger. I didn't worry about my grades, I worried about my grill. And today, well, look around. This really hit Sam. Here was a man who took the most basic human need, eating, and turned it into an empire. It reminded Sam of a video title he saw once, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But in real life, it was just one habit: loving what you do. Mr. Thomas didn't need to be a scholar, he just needed to be a great cook. Finally, Sam rode to the last house to meet Mr. Miguel. Sam was excited. He thought, okay, the first 2 were bad students, this last guy must be the one who was ranked 40th, right at the bottom, right? But when he arrived, he was confused. The house was nice, but it was small. It was simple. Much smaller than the mansions of the athlete and the chef. Mr. Miguel answered the door. He was a kind, quiet man with glasses. He welcomed Sam in, and they sat in a small living room filled with books. Sam asked, "Mr. Miguel, were you a bad student too?" Miguel smiled sadly. "No, Sam. I was number 1. I was the valedictorian. I got perfect scores in every single subject. Math, science, literature. I was the best at all of it." Sam looked around the modest room. "So what happened?" "I was good at everything," Miguel explained, "but I never loved any of it. I spent my life doing what I was told to do. I learned a little bit about everything, but I never became a master of anything. I played it safe. I followed the rules. And now, well, I work a regular job, living a regular life. I'm not unhappy, but I never chased a dream. I watched my friends Andres and Thomas build empires because they had passion. I just had grades." He looked Sam in the eye. "Don't make my mistake, Sam. Don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none." Sam rode home in silence. His head was spinning. The failures were super successful, and the winner was living a very average life. When he got back to the farm, his dad, David, was waiting by the fence. "So," David asked, "did you learn about the golden leg?" Sam shook his head. "No, they just smiled when I said it." "Dad, who's the student ranked 40th, the one who came last?" David smiled. "I was, Sam. I was number 40. Sam's jaw dropped. His dad? The owner of this massive estate? David continued, "I was the worst student in class. And to make it worse, one day I fell off a horse and shattered my leg. The doctors wrapped it in so many bandages and supports it looked yellow. That's why they called me the man with the golden leg. I couldn't walk for months. I couldn't run like Andres. I couldn't stand in a kitchen like Thomas. All I could do was sit by this fence and watch the horses. But," David's eyes sparkled, "because I sat here every day, I started to understand them. I learned how they move, how they think, how to breed them, how to train them. I didn't study textbooks, I studied horses. I became the best horse trainer in the state because it was the only thing I focused on. That broke leg was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me to stop trying to be everything and start being one thing." That day, Sam never looked back. He realized that school tests your memory, but life tests your passion. He decided to stay on the farm, not because he had to, but because he wanted to master it. You see, the secret to success isn't in a report card, it's inside you. No one can build your dream for you. If you don't understand yourself, if you just follow the crowd, you will never be your real self. You have to find that one thing that makes you wake up in the morning and master it. So as you go through your week, I want you to really think about this story. True success comes when you stop trying to please everyone else and start working on your own personal development. You need to find that spark of motivation that pushes you through the hard times. Whether you're looking for career advice or just trying to figure out how to be successful, remember that finding your passion is the first step. It's not just about financial freedom, it's about waking up happy. Adopt a strong success mindset, learn from these life lessons, and focus on self-improvement every single day. That is the only real success story that matters. Yours. If this story helped you see things differently, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that feed your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.